Hey everybody, welcome back to the Danger Planet. Today, we're talking about the guild. Does anybody have a situationally appropriate guild anecdote?
Guild for life, baby.
Guild, beat the bad guys. That's how you win.
All right. Today, I am joined once again by Pope Darpa / Landon. And by once again, I mean, I guess not really, because this is the first time you've been on one of these videos this edition.
I was on the scheming video.
Fair, but this wasn't like, not one of the faction overviews.
Sure,
Nonetheless, Landon, say hello to the internet.
Hello, planet.
Oh my gosh.
Dangerous.
Yeah. And also today joining us are two esteemed guild players in no particular order other than the order that they appear on my screen in this voice chat program. Errol is also Iname on the internet. You may have met Errol at Captain Con if you've been, or just generally about New England Malifaux events. Say hello to the internet.
Hello, internet. Yes, I am of the guild. Hello.
And this is Errol's channel debut, I believe.
It is.
Wow.
First time I've gone on Danger Planet, so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh. And now Errol, please. Sorry?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Tell us, how long have you been a member of the guild?
I've actually only been a member of the guild since 4th edition. I was Arcanist in 3rd, but when the guild stole Hoffman, it made me jump, and I've been here since.
Wow. I didn't know that. I thought you used to play guild too, but I guess I just don't remember things, which is incredibly likely. And then lastly, Nathan Hoyle, folks, if you've ever been to the Central Atlantic region, if I'm not mistaken, and have played Malifaux, you have probably met Nathan. Nathan, I feel like I have talked to you on the channel before. Have I ever had you on the channel before?
Yeah, I think I was on once last edition. I couldn't tell you about what though.
Yeah, I feel like it had to have been something. You are incredibly well known and well respected.
It has to have been guild. It's the only.
It has to have been guild.
On.
Yeah, we did guild things. So I'm glad that you're still guilding it up. And I was like, oh, who do I get for this guild video? I should ask Nathan, and that was my first bit. Here we are.
You got the full spectrum. You got people that are new to the guild and people that have been playing it for a long time. So
and you got fair weather fans like myself.
There you go. You get the whole spectrum.
And also, might I add, myself, as I have officially declared for the guild recently, which is not just a thing that I'll say during every faction overview, I swear. But here we are. So we're going to guild it up. Without further ado, let's go into a brief explanation of the system, and then we'll jump right in. So we're going to talk mostly about the versatiles, because every faction, every keyword in the guild can hire them. And after we talk about the versatiles and what areas they excel in, we'll talk about each of the crews briefly, what they do right now in GG0 strats, as well as their general effectiveness in the same categories we talk about the versatiles in, as well as, if someone reminds me and I don't forget like I did half of the time in the Neverborn video, whether or not this crew wants the effigy. So that's on y'all. That's your personal side task here, is to remind me that this is a thing, and let's get right to it. So first up, we have Battering Ram. Battering Ram is a 3-stone model that is a versatile for the guild, and he is amongst the rubble, which lets him remove markers or destructible terrain to take less damage and resilience, so he takes less raises. He has sort of a bad melee attack, and then he has another tactical action that gives out a hastened token to a friendly model. Landon, what do you think about this guy? Have you ever hired a Battering Ram? Do you own one? Have you ever seen one?
I don't think I want to. I can see maybe hiring it to stand on the back marker of informants if you're really desperate, but I think most keywords have a keyword model for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw this guy on a negative for scheming and beating, and a plus flip for utility, because he's got that hasten token, and sometimes that's just the gas you need, and for 3 points, maybe you want that gas.
Yeah, I do think that there is a potentially like minimum value on a 3-stone significant model, right? Which I guess is a thing that I really need to break my habit of saying, because a significant model is literally everything except for like 4 dudes, non-peon, we'll say. So I'm a 3-stone minion. Errol, do you have any Battering Ram based ideas? Have you ever seen a Battering Ram?
I own a Battering Ram. They are painted. I have fielded them once or twice. For the same thing he said, back point is where they live. They're great for your unpacked. Here's a couple of hastens. Off you go. I'm going to sit back here and hide behind this wall. So if your crew doesn't have a good low-cost model to put back there, they're one for that. Otherwise, no.
Wow.
I will say overall negative for everything but maybe some utility. I'll give them a positive.
Cool. Nathan, what do you think?
I was going to give them a positive for scheming. I've used them in Boundary Dispute a fair amount. Just get those early kicks for cheap. After that, honestly, their cards might as well be blank. There's not much to them. The hasten goes on Jane Doe, and that's about it. Nothing to them.
Yeah, I think the ability to maybe be a little bit hard to put down because of that extra bit. Maybe their value goes up slightly if you're playing on a very heavily destructible terrain board or against an incredibly like a marker crew. I think they're go up a little bit, but I mean, at the end of the day,
we see really hazardous terrain type crews. These guys become maybe, I don't want to say premium, but the budget option, because they can get rid of hazardous markers without spending an action just by walking into them. I think that's really funny.
Yeah, I mean, look, I guess hire both Battering Rams every Mayfang match, right? Is that?
I don't know about
I don't think so, but.
Look, they just walk into the things. It's not Mayfang doesn't possess any models that could just instantly.
And then they turn into red mist immediately.
Okay, well, look, I'm trying here. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Battering Ram, I agree. We'll put him up. Next up, we will talk. Oh, I can actually report myself as one of the people who owns these now, because we had a Pride tournament in New England run by Nikki from the Crypt, which was super rad, and I won a guild. Old starter 3rd edition starter box, so I have them now. I just need to put them on bases and paint them. So let's talk about Bracer. I think this model is pretty wildly better for being in the same box. This is an 8-stone model. It's got 11 health, which is quite good. Expert Climber, which is really good. On the move, which is really good because you just can't tie them down in combat because they get to move when they activate. And then they have shields up, so friendly models that get shot get +1 to their duel total if they're within 2 inches. Bracer has a pretty strong melee attack. It's 3 damage, and also it gets to move people as well as having pretty good triggers. She has a kind of a lame gun, but it's sometimes you just gotta. And she has Tenacity, which is always good as a tactical action, pitch a card, heal 2, and then her special lets her place anywhere within 6, and also again push enemies. Nathan, how do you brace frequently? Do you think Bracer is worth it, and what are your thoughts?
So I both think she's great and rarely use her, and it's a weird problem because she's so fragile that the ways I want to use her, I feel like I get burnt every time I try. So she's made less
of
and
all
less
5s defense and basically no attack outside of, I don't know, concentrating for shielded, I guess.
Yeah, I give her pluses across the board, and I still rarely find room for her in my crews.
Yeah. So specifically, I mean, she does good damage. I agree. So +4 there, and then you're saying +4 for scheming.
Oh yeah, fast, pushing models without a duel. She's great.
Yeah, man, wouldn't this model be great if it could have a lead line cloak? Okay. Errol, what do you think?
Bracer is my favorite versatile in Guild. I play her all the time. She could do a little bit of everything. Mainly I use her as a scheme runner. She goes up one side and you're going to have a hard time catching her. She's leaping over terrain. She's, and if anybody gets close enough, she'll just punch your lights out. So I love Bracer. Pluses across the board. I play her very often.
Yeah. What happens if she gets shot though? Does she not just die?
And that's the problem. She does, because as I said, she is flimsy. So you don't want her to be in the scrum. You want her on the edges. If something gets close to her, she can defend herself, but it's more just to punch them and then get away and keep moving.
Yeah. Landon, what do you think? You think she's plus flipping up in this?
So for many of the reasons we just talked about, I'm actually going to give her a negative on beating and a positive on the other two. You aren't using this model to take long extended fights. She's probably something you've hired because you want to score points on a flank, right? Mm-hmm. To me, that's not beating. That's scheming, right? This is the typical Manos or Yin of last edition, where if you kill one model a game, I think you're happy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, let's not Manos last edition. That's a whole different thing that we don't want to
Sure, but like
connotate
that
here,
sort of niche of model, right? You aren't doing the most of your damage with it.
Yeah, fair enough. I agree. I will say it's kind of weird neg flipping a 3 damage model with crit strike that also has like a great effect just all the time. Well, I guess if it receives a raise, but yeah, I get it. I think she's pretty good. Although I do agree with Nathan. I have tried a number of times to field her, even though I didn't have a model until recently, and nothing. But she does come with a cool piece of plastic that's red, so there's that. And hopefully that will be enough to tie it in. Let's talk the Effigy real quick. So we're going to talk Effigy with each of the crews as we go over them, but this Effigy, much like every other Effigy, has quick study and insignificant, so it gains the keywords of the crew you hire it in, and it can't declare strategies, can't declare interact, and is ignored for schemes and strategies. It has a bad 8-inch spell attack, just like every other one of them. Its stats are bad. It costs 2 points, and you get a stone back when it dies, so it's kind of like 1 point if it's just going to get killed. This particular one has a 1 damage attack that if it receives a raise, it has like a built-in coordinated attack, so an ally may declare a melee action targeting the same model, which can be really good, but it's stat force, so it's not very likely. You can, for 2 stones, if you do that spell attack while it's engaged, turn it into the Emissary, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then his like tactical action that they all have has friendly only, remove a token from the target and give it shielded, which is pretty crazy as far as the effigies are concerned. I like this guy a lot, and I do find myself hiring him a bit, but his real strength, I think, lies quite a bit behind which crews you use him with or not, because he gains all of the bits on the crew card because he's a very cheap, unique model, so usually he'll gain like their signature action. But Errol, how Effige have you G'd?
I have effed the GE a few times. I mean, it's a 2-stone token removal, right? That alone
It sure is. It sure
huge.
is. Yeah, it's a
huge.
plus weapon utility for days.
You know, like, yes, you want to use the effigies if you have a good crew card they can take advantage of, but even if you just don't have any other token removal, he will do the trick. You know, he follows along, he removes tokens, gives you a shielded, off you go. That is worth more than 2 stones.
Yeah, you just got to be careful with him because he dies to a stiff freeze.
Very much so. You know, stand him behind something else, behind a wall, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, buddy. Nathan, how do you hire the effigy much?
Not a ton, because I really like the Emissary.
Yeah.
So it's the opportunity cost, but something I want to call out on it, that ability, if you get a raise, it's an ally. So if it doesn't grow, it can't use the attack targeting the same model. But if you use the grow up thing, you spend the 2 stones, you grow, all of a sudden you get a swing with your Emissary. And that can be kind of cool.
Sure. Yeah. Landon, what are you effigying? Have you effigied much?
And that's some cool tech. But no, I've not effigied yet in my limited guild run on Dashel, just because it's not so great with this crew card, and I haven't yet found a matchup where I need the token removal. But I could see where I would. Yeah,
token removal push shield is good. I mean, I think there's no doubt that he gets a plus flipping utility and neg flipping everything else. Especially, I don't even know if he gets a neg flipping scheming. That might be too good because he literally can. But let's talk about his larger cousin that you cannot hire in the same crew because they have the same model named Brutal Fate with different titles, Emissary and Effigy. This is the Emissary. Just like every other Emissary, he costs 8 stones. He has Quick Study and he has Tempting Fate, which is an ability that lets you save your master if it was going to die by spending 2 stones. Now, the things that make this guy different, he's size 3 like the rest of them. They all have different sort of stat makeups, but he's defense 6 and willpower 5. They all, I think at the moment, have 11 health. But people complain about some of them, so who knows. And this guy has a 3-inch melee attack that's 3 damage, that's 6 against defense, which is pretty good. And if they're further away, they get a plus flip, and he has great triggers on it. And his tactical action that he has on his card is called a Cage for All, which pulses out a TN14 speed duel or slow, which is fine. And you can possibly give out focus, but also you can deal extra damage to an enemy model nearby if you put them into the cage. Landon, have you put anyone into the cage?
You know, I want to, but I have not. It's always a model I've been looking at and playing in Dashel, but have not yet gotten around to trying to figure out how to make it work.
Sure. I think really importantly, now that I'm looking at the art, because I have like basically just this one card on my whole giant ass monitor, it looks like his skull is floating, and I wish that they had a way to model that. I don't think I've ever seen that. I got to look at my model now and see if his skull is floating. Nathan, you mentioned that you never hire the Emissary or the Effigy because you're always playing the Emissary. Talk to us about him.
Yeah, so I think he's great. Crowd control is just a really nice ability that can really catch people off guard.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mention crowd control. His unique ability is that enemy models within 6 can't declare enemy controlled actions unless it's their activation. So there are lots of crews that this just hard shuts down.
Yeah, and the plus flip on the blade just really starts to pay off in this edition. And then the 2 damage without a flip, like I'll throw a crow onto that tactical action often just to do that free 2 damage and heal 2. It's just free real estate. It's great.
Yeah, I completely agree. Are you saying plus flip for damage?
Plus flip for damage, plus flip for utility, negative for scheming because it doesn't really do anything.
Wow. Errol, how much emissaries have you?
I love him. I played him a lot when I was playing Hoffman. If you need another big beater, he can fill the role just fine. Crowd control shuts down crews, like you said. His attack is great, but a Cage for All has won games for me. Just TN 14 speed duel and everyone gets slow. That is huge, and he can heal himself, which the others don't really have that ability to do so. So even if they're focus firing him, he can keep himself in the game. But just handing out slow is enough to put him in the middle of the scrum and make them deal with it.
Yeah,
it's a great distraction,
Yeah, can I just say I'm mad now because while you were talking, I looked at the Hoffman card that I have physically in front of me and read Command Steel, and I was pretty sure that said construct only, which I was going to say, but surely, Errol, this Emissary isn't a construct for some reason and wouldn't work with Hoffman, but I was wrong.
You are wrong, sir.
Crap.
Yes, exactly.
I'm so mad. I've just been not hiring this guy for that reason.
That's why I played him in Hoffman, because he's just one of the boys, and Hoffman could tell this Emissary, big skull boy, what to do. It's amazing.
I'm so mad. I gotta hire him in a Hoffman game right now. We're pausing this video so I can go play a Hoffman game. But due to the magic of the internet, you won't even notice. Wow, that was a great game. Errol was right. You should all hire the Brutal Emissary in your Hoffman game. So without any more interruptions, let's get back to this video and talk about Commander Bura. Wow, isn't internet magic fun? Okay, so Commander Bura is the old henchman of the Guild starter box from 3rd edition, but she's a 7-cost henchman, which I guess theoretically, if your master dies, you could promote her. And she's hard to kill and under my protection. So when she activates, she gives out shielded to a friendly model, which could of course be herself within 6. She has a sword, which is just a triggerless 2 damage attack. She has crushing force, which is a 2 damage spell, but it's against speed. And if it gets a raise, she gains a shielded token. And it's got some interesting triggers, sweeping strike, but it's only 2 damage. So Marlowe's Finest is her fancy tactical action, which is a friendly only. She can remove shielded. The target heals 1, and if she removed shielded, the target can declare an action. So I feel like you want to, under my protection, give her own shielded so she can just always do it. And then lastly, she has expanding influence, which is usually only going to be a minion because ally-wise, it's only going to hit the Bracer and Brutal. No, not Brutal. What are they called? The little guys.
The Battering Ram.
The Battering Ram. The Bracer and Battering Ram. But it can move any minion 4 inches towards a friendly model in their line of sight. Landon, have you Bura'd?
I have not. I think I could see the reasoning is if you wanted to try and cram an obey that's not an obey into a list.
Okay.
But I think generally speaking, I can find a better use for 7 points. So, I don't know. Neg flip on everything but utility, plus flip for utility.
Yeah, fair enough. Errol, have you Bura'd much?
No, I don't.
Need I remind you though, before you say no, she has 2 pieces of red plastic.
I see that, and it's a cool looking model for sure. I just don't like this model. It feels like she's playing her own little mini game which a lot of versatiles do, but it doesn't play into any crew well. Maybe Dashel with the expanding influence because he likes a lot of minions, but that's basically the extent of it. For 7 stones, I don't think she's worth it.
I would have thought you'd play her in Hoffman because of all the shield that she gives out, but
I have thought about it, but it is not an efficient shield producing system to warrant the 7 stones.
Yeah, also I think Hoffman really produces plenty of shields. I don't know. That's always been my experience. But Nathan, what have you Bura'd much?
So Bura is my anti-bracer, where I think bracer's really good, and I have trouble fitting her in. I keep ending up fitting Bura into my list, even though I don't think she's good.
Have you considered dropping a stone and just running bracer and not?
I probably should. But I keep getting the fact that Marlowe's Finest works on Masters is a temptation that I really struggle to not use.
Sure.
And I just in Sonya, I was using her because you can arc through those stalkers with the crushing force, so there's a little bit of play there. I was using her with some crews that had some staggered because of the speed dual on crushing force, but none of it's really very good. It's probably negatives across the board for me.
Yeah, I also sort of feel that way. I think just for expanding influence, I think I have to agree plus flip and utility because it's really good. And Marlowe's Finest also is very good. The giving masters an action thing is cool. A lot of people seem to have some confusion around this one, and it's really just whether the word control is present or not. Another big example is the colony, not the colony, but the Silken King has this interaction with the Siren. But basically, if it says control, you can't do it on masters, but if it says the target may declare an action, that's the master doing it themselves, so you can use it on masters. And there are not many abilities that do that. Most of them can't, but this is one that can, which is really good. But yeah, I think no. I probably would just pay the extra point and hire Bracer if I were going to hire Bura. So unless I'm running in all versatiles, oops, all not keyword list. Let's go. So let's talk Gatling Gunners. Gatling Gunners are a minion, arguably. They cost 6 stones, they have 8 health, they have hard to kill. They have stand and fire, which is that, if an enemy declares a charge within 12 of them, in line of sight, of course, they take the damage. They have a sword, it does 2 damage. I guess the trigger is relevant. They have Gatling Gun, which is the same shot as Mosacore. It's 2 damage. If the target doesn't have cover, they get a plus flip. Riot Rounds is potentially very good. It stops the damage completely and instead moves the target its speed away from the Gatling Gunner, which is possibly a lot, but meh. And then they have I'll Cover You, which just gives out a bolster token. And it's once per activation for some reason. So I don't know. Nathan, have you ever played with a Gatling Gunner in any edition?
Yeah, I loved them last edition, honestly. This edition, okay. I've used them. They're not good. There's no value there. They just kind of, they'll be a gun if you need a gun. You can sit them on a back informants and they'll shoot and sit there, but they're just fine.
Yeah, I always overestimate Stand and Fire too, and I just playing against it so much, I found it just trivial to ignore. But maybe it should be if they finish a move from a charge within 12 instead of resolving, but I don't know. Because you want them to be back so they're not up, and then it's the whole thing. Errol, Gatling, have you gunned?
No, I don't really know why this model exists. Like, it does some basic tech, but the guild specifically, maybe if Gatling was in any other faction, useful. But the guild can do everything on this card with better models. Even if you have to go out of keyword, there are better models to spend those stones on. It's just a little too generic and has no personality to make it warrant the 6 stones.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. I think we have to give it a neg flip in damage for sure. I think a neg flip in scheming, it doesn't do it, and possibly a neg flip in utility because like 1 bolster token a turn, but I don't know, maybe that's relevant. Landon, do you have anything positive to say about Gatling Gunners?
It gets a positive flip if the target does not have cover.
Sure, it sure does on its 2 damage gun.
Yep, that's about it. I got nothing.
Wow. Okay, negs everywhere. Next, let's talk guild mages. These guys were let's not talk guild mages because I just have Greed. The cards out of order. Let's talk Greed. This is a model. We will not be talking about the Crossroads 7 as a crew here. We're saving that for Landon's favorite faction, the 10 Thunders. I don't know if I've told Landon this before, but I have asked Landon to be on the 10 Thunders video, and we intentionally left it off of the Arcanist video for Landon's benefit due to a group vote. So we'll be doing that. we won't be talking about it here, but we can talk about Greed. Greed has for 8 stones and 10 health, 6 defense, which is fine, 5 willpower, kind of lame, but don't turn your back, and a unique ability, take what is mine. After an enemy model within 6 drains a stone, she infuses one, so that's kind of neat. She has a 2 damage melee attack that has Rest in Peace, the Lady Justice sort of theme trigger, where if they have Craven or Summon token, it does 3 more damage for a stone. I've never once used it or seen anyone use it. I don't know that that's viable, but it does have Siphon Life, but it's not built in, so I'm kind of sad. She has a signature attack called Unchecked Avarice, where once per activation, the target chooses 1, 2, or 3, and then reveals a number of cards that they get to draw, but they take 2 damage for every non-ram. There's also a stone trigger, which you have to declare after they choose, because choosing is part of the cost, right? We did it. That you get to draw a number of cards equal to the cards that they drew. So if they choose 1, you don't have to waste the stone, and if they choose 3, you can. Am I crazy? That's how that works, right?
I think so.
Yep. Good. And but it's only 6 inches, so it's kind of hard to pull off. And then she has Turn of Profit, so target an enemy marker, place in base contact, remove a draw card, but it's also only once per activation. So she draws some cards, which I guess is arguably utility. Landon, Greed, have you?
No, and I don't know that I would. I look at this model and I see the potential, right? This is potential man at its finest as far as the guild spells are concerned. Like, you can give out Craven tokens, you can draw cards. You can give
it doesn't. No, it doesn't give out Craven.
No, sorry, must have a Craven.
No, it has to have a Craven. Yeah.
Never mind. Potential's all gone.
That's it. We did it.
That's it. We did it. Neg flips all around. It's Unchecked Avarice is never going to be a number not 1, and either you spend a stone to get a card, or they just get a card and sometimes also don't take damage. Like, it's bad.
Can I tell you that if my opponent ever Unchecked Avarice me, I would pick 3 every time, because it says draw 3 cards and I want to draw 3 cards. I don't care what the revolve it is. If my master's at 1 health and they target it, I will still choose 3 cards.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, good. Okay, Nathan, tell us, do you have much greed in you?
No, I think it's awful, but I do want to point out, I think you kill them, I don't think they get to draw the cards at that point.
Equal to the target. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It's not immediately, so I think you're correct. So Windmill Slam auto hire?
No, it's garbage. I'll give it a plus on scheming, just because Turn of Profit and Don't Turn Your Back are good abilities, but it never wants to be anywhere where it can use either of those, so it really is just a very bad model.
Yeah, I want to give it a plus flip utility because it says draw 4 cards, but I guess not. Errol, do you have any positive things?
I do, actually. I like Greed, not on a competitive level, but if you are just playing for fun at a local tourney, bring Greed. They're going to confuse your opponent between Take What It's Mine, Turn of Profit, Unchecked Avarice. It's just a fun thing to put on the table to just stir it up a little bit. You're not winning with Greed, but you're going to have fun playing her.
Can I pitch this a different way? In that we don't do casual. That's not the vibe here. So you should take this to make your opponent think that you're a casual, because when they see you hire Greed, they'll be like, oh, this game's going to be easy. And then you just pretend you're down 8 stones and beat them.
I mean, you can do that too.
Okay, hear me out. We can arc Unchecked Avarice through the nodes off of, some models we'll talk about later. So, like, sometimes you'll be in range to do it. So you can do it once a turn.
Wow. Still no, though.
I did take Greed into Mei Fang once, thinking, oh, she'll dive in and then be spending stones, and I'll steal the stones away, and I'll be so smart. And then my opponent took the other Mei, and I looked like an idiot because they used them all before they got to me.
Wow. Oh, no.
Yeah, they did that to you. That sounds cool, though, because then you're definitely going to draw a card to turn off, Turn of Profit. Can you imagine if an 8-stone model gave you 4 Soulstones and drew you 4 cards on the same turn?
You'd be a hero.
Unfortunately, getting the stone is once per activation.
Well, quiet down. Look, Landon, you've ruined everything. Okay, don't hire Greed. Next, Avarice never pays. Guild Mage. So Guild Mage is a 7-cost model this edition with 9 health. It has Aegis and Glory to the Guild, so when it activates, you can pitch a card, which you probably will do, or drain a stone, which you probably won't do, but maybe you will, I don't know, to let a friendly model within 6 heal too, which I think is possibly quite good situationally. It has an okay attack, it's Rule of Law, it's 2 damage, and it's against willpower, which is nice, and you can eat a marker within 2 of the target to deal 1, which is like extra damage and also marker removal, which is quite good. Disillusion is a good movement ability. It moves the target up to its speed as an attack, a willpower attack, but doesn't do any damage. But it has some cool triggers. And then healing energy, which is the like MVP healing energy, which you can heal 8 health with a red joker, but it's heal 2 and 2 extra for each raise, but you can only get 1 raise unless you red joker. And even the healing energy has some decent triggers. Nathan, have you maged much with the guild?
I think Guild Mage is great. I do want to point out there's a knock aside on healing energy, so if you want to spend a stone and unresisted push a enemy model, you're going to have that ability.
Oh, sure, yeah, because healing energy doesn't require you to heal friendly models. It's just heal the target too.
Yep. You've got your disillusion, your rule of law. It's just a nice package, top to bottom. I think I'd give it. I think pluses on all 3. I like it.
Yeah, definitely utility for sure. Definitely, without a doubt. Maybe not the damage. I don't know about that, but maybe other people will disagree. Errol, how do you feel about Guild Mage? Do you mage
I like Guild Mage. I haven't been able to find a Guild Mage, but I do like the Guild Mage. I would play them very often. And utility is what you're using this one for. The Disillusion is fantastic. The Glory of the Guild is a lot of fun. Even the attack is fine. It's still a negative on beating, but it can throw a punch if it needs to be. And my hot take here is I personally am not a fan of healing energy as a tactical action. I know a lot of people are all about it, but needing a stone to plan ahead, to have a stone with you, and then potentially have a high card to really get the most out of it. It takes another level of resource management that I'd rather not deal with personally. But I like the fact that it has its own Glory to the Guild, little top off healing, which is sometimes all you really need. So, but everything else in the card I love. Play Guild Mage.
Wow. Landon, what do you think?
I'm pluses all around. Like, I haven't played one yet, but I definitely would if I wasn't playing a keyword that already had Trail of Gore, right? I look at Rule of Law and I see one of the very few ways you can remove more than one scheme marker in an activation still. I look at Disillusion and I just see points on every strategy, right? Like, this thing is gas.
Yeah. Rule of Law, I think, does seem really good just because it's like you're always for scheming wise, for sure, you're always.
The thing you got to solve is that everything here is low range, right? It's 8 inches, 6 inches. It has that big pet peeve of mine where you've got 2 attacks and they're 2 different ranges.
Yeah.
But if you, I don't know, node them, they're really good.
Yeah. Well, hey, hire mages in Sonia. What a time. That's crazy. I feel like that shouldn't be the thing. Okay. Yeah. So I guess, yeah. Plus really beater though. Is that where we're really doing this? 3 of you have said this. Really beater?
Nope. Negative for beater for me.
No, I think Errol made a good point though about
I
healing
feel like
energy.
being tanky and having a potential to do decent damage for cost gets a plus on beater for me. Like, Aegis and cover is going to make this thing tanky enough that I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
All right. Nathan, what were you gonna say?
I think Errol's right about healing energy, though. I struggle for stones in my guild crews. They all really need them, and that's just a spot I rarely have the stone to spare for.
Yeah, I think that especially on this guy, because he has the spot healing, I think healing energy is going to be few and far between. But like, if you have a peacekeeper that you suddenly heal for like 6, or I guess it can't ever do 6, that you suddenly heal for 4 because you like rip a, have a 9 that you can throw around or rip a 9, healing a peacekeeper for 4 is kind of nuts. I don't know that you're hiring them in Hoffman, but look. But yeah, fair enough. Fine. We'll plus flip everybody. Let's talk the horseman. He's a horseman. He's a pale rider. He's 11 stones, just like every other rider. He has 10 health, and he has chasing fate like every other rider. So when he's dealt damage, you can drain a stone to reduce damage equal to the turn number. It's not to 0, so he'll always take 1. And he has lone rider, so he can't be targeted by the actions of friendly models, which is usually a pretty big hindrance, and I think is the reason why a lot of them don't get hired very frequently. That being said, though, this guy does have, I think, what is arguably the best nemesis ability. So enemy models within 3 just flat out are ignore all of their fortitude abilities, which is the most common, I think, type of ability, but it does really depend on the crew you're playing against. On the backside of his card, he has a 3 damage, either 1-inch melee or 12-inch gun, which is pretty good with the trigger to do extra damage. Which doesn't do extra damage on turn 1, though. It's only on turn 2, 3, and 4. His Revel ability is Revel in Conflict, so all friendly models heal 1 or 2 if they're engaged, which is pretty good. But even better, once per game for 2 stones, you can give all friendly models that were within the 4-inch pulse an attack to declare, which is possibly turn 1 shoot 3 guns, I guess. I don't know. And then he has Ride With Me, which is pretty good. And his unique trigger on Ride With Me, like the rest of them have, is that the target heals 4, which is crazy. Okay, Nathan, what do you think? Have you ridden Palely?
Yeah, a friend of mine painted one, a really nice paint job for me, so I have run it. It sucks having a gun that's not going to be able to take advantage of your Nemesis ability if you're taking advantage of its range. You're never going to have stones to spend for the damage reduction or the Hatred Unleashed, so those might as well be blank. Ride With Me is a good ability, but at a 6 for an 11 cost model, it's not paying off. Like, I put it so far below the other stuff I'd spend points for. It's really just for fun games.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. You don't see a lot of riders this edition. They're really expensive. Errol, have you hired any Pale Riders?
No, I've never hired one, but I've had them used against me. This thing is a menace. Once it gets rolling, you have to pay attention to it. You have to address the problem. But like he was saying, finding 11 stones for him, you're gonna put down some of your keywords, key models to fit this guy, and that's the problem, right? They're too expensive. They're really great. Heck, if you're playing the horse crew, go for it. But by himself, as cramming him into a guild list, you're not gonna find the stones for it.
Yeah. By the horse crew, of course, you mean the Dashel list where you hire every horse you can hire in the faction, right?
Obviously, exactly that one.
Oh, good. Just checking. Okay, Landon, you got to knock this home. What's the spice? Pale Rider. You got to tell me we're using him every game.
Probably. We're using him every game that we're playing Horse Rusty in. No, I think this is, even in that crew, probably one of the worst riders, personally. His gun is the most blank attack I've seen on a model, even accepting the fact that he's 11 points, right? Like, it's 3 damage, it has triggers on 1 suit, and that trigger doesn't even work on the first turn of the game. What is that? Like, this is not a beater. This is a healer that costs 11 points. Because, I gotta say, the Ram trigger on Ride With Me, really good. Like, 4 for any Ram, really good. But, the rest of it, not so much.
Okay.
I did have a question, though. For Hatred Unleashed, do you actually have to heal a number that is bigger than 0 to even use the trigger? It's healed this way. Declare an attack.
Yeah, you can only declare an attack if they were healed.
Yeah, my memory is that's like damage.
So that makes it really hard to use turn 1.
Is the question? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess you can't use a turn 1. I don't know. Look, sue me. I can't say in good faith that you should hire this model. I can't say he gets a neg flip in damage.
I can. He is terrible.
Damage. 3 damage is the bar. I'm putting plus flip. You can't talk me out of it. But he doesn't do any scheming knife flip and utility. Like, he has Ride With Me.
I'll give him a plus on utility between the heal and the Ride With Me. But that's a utility model.
I get to place somebody 5+2, the 7 inches, and then heal them 4. That's crazy. Probably not though. It's kind of expensive. Speaking of expensive models, you were saying, Errol?
I was like, this guy looks too badass, and his sculpt is too amazing to just be a glorified healer. Like,
yeah,
you're absolutely right there.
You mean the puppet one?
Yes, the puppet one.
Yeah, just checking. Or the Headless Horseman Flamey guy. That's also one that's pretty cool.
That's the one I'm running. It looks great.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I feel like that model just has to be purple though. If it's not purple, I don't know. Let's move on to the last boyo in this list. This guy is the Propagandist. He is the 10 stone crazy expensive beater model that came out in Ashes of Malifaux, I think, the last 3rd edition book. So this guy costs 10. He has 13 health. He has a demise ability, so once per game, if he dies and doesn't have a summon token, you can give an upgrade that will, upon that model dying, summon him back. basically. And he has a factory of furries. I hate that so much. Oh my gosh. He has a fury factory. So a friendly model within 6 that does a melee attack can suffer damage to get a plus flip on that action stool. It's almost like it's almost like Lohith again. No, nothing. Okay, well, it's not, but it kind of is. He has an 8-inch spell that does 3 damage, and if you get a plus flip, it gives out a brainwashed upgrade, which basically gives you a mandatory trigger that on crows that makes your attacks automatically fail. And he has another attack called Stoke Fears, which moves and gives the target Craven. You can target friendly models if you want, but I don't know why you would, although I guess it moves them. Oh, I guess actually, hear me out. The reason that you want to do this is because if you know that they're going to assassinate, you can just Craven your own guy and they're sad. That's the thing, I guess. And then he has a tactical action called Revitalize that rips tokens off of friendly models and potentially many of them with a little bit of triggering. Landon, would you consider selling
if I
me a
had
car?
the model, I would definitely sell you this bridge. Like
bridge. Sorry, selling me a bridge.
Yeah. I don't even know that this is a bridge that needs to be sold. That's how much I would sell you this bridge. Like Stoke Fears to me is like exactly encompassing of like the identity of Guild. Like Guild doesn't really scheme very well, but it tells the other guy that they're not allowed to either, right? And so just handing out Craven on 7 against willpower is very nice.
Yeah, for 10 stones.
Yeah. But I mean, like, and then the fact that you also have that add utility of being able to put it on your models when you want it, it's real good. There's some crews that even care about the Craven's tokens, so like extra sauce there.
Sure.
And you can even give it out on your attacks with the Vox amplifiers, right? So like, I really like it. And then you also have the utility of, either hand fixing or token removal. That's not even talked about, Fury Factory, if you're within range, is just a really good trade, in my opinion. So like, okay. I'm a fan.
I am not so sure, but Nathan, maybe you can talk me into it as well. Sell me a bridge.
I'm on Team Glaze the Propagandist. I love this model. I think Craven has such utility on your own models as well as enemies. Denying strat on recover evidence, denying informants by hitting enemy models. It's just really nasty. The Revitalize, having both cut them down and on your heels available, means that you're either able to like teleport up board really fast or get extra swings with a master or a peacekeeper or something like that. Fury Factory really pays off with models that can heal at the end of their activation. So you're talking about or close to the end of their activation. So like your Emissary, which is already a 1+. So if you get to double plus, it's really getting tough to avoid. Lady J, models in a Hoffman crew that are within 6. Like you have models that can heal at the end of their activation. They do all that swinging and then heal back up, and it's really nasty.
Wild. Yeah, I mean, you make good points. Errol?
I also like Propagandist.
Oh my god.
Sorry, Brandon.
Video is canceled.
This entire model is such I feel like a well-built toolbox. Like, you're not going to use everything it has in every game, but you're going to find a use for it in every game. Fury Factory, like I said, if you have someone that can heal themselves, fantastic. Here's a plus flip. Handing out Cravens while still doing 3 damage. The Brainwashed, to make things do more damage to themselves. The Revitalized, it's a 10-inch token removal. I know I love token removal a lot in this edition. 10 inches is fantastic. With a trigger for basically a coordinated strike. It's fantastic. The right crew, not every crew is taking the Propagandist, but if you need a little bit more utility in a crew, I can see it working well for a bunch of different reasons.
Wow. Okay,
and its sculpt is amazing.
The sculpt is amazing. I'll give you that. Okay. I don't know why. I just I see 10 stones and then read words that aren't just all the words printed on the Syzygy sisters and their upgrade and just am not interested. But I guess I need to live in a world where I just don't have the Syzygy sisters in every crew.
You're not in purple anymore, Brandon.
I'm not in purple
Yeah,
anymore.
it's not Syzygy, but what is?
Yeah,
Right.
well, Syzygy. Let's be real. Okay, so we're plus flipping him on damage. We're plus flipping him on scheming because of the immense versatility of being able to crave in your own models at the right time. Although I think that's not maybe the most intuitive bit that people are comfortable with, but I promise you it's good. And then utility wise, like he's ripping tokens, he's doing stuff, he's moving people, he's moving himself, he's giving out upgrades. I think
I'm negative on damage, positive on everything else. I think a cast action being your only damage on a 10-stone model for 3 damage, it usually is not your damage dealer. But
yeah, no, that's a good point.
Pay off.
Yeah, for 10 stones, I feel like you're not right because he can't get raises. And maybe
I think
a 10
does more
stone
damage
also.
than the Pale Rider does. Hot take.
I mean, no, but sure.
And he costs less.
Yeah, yes. Well, by 1, yes, I agree. He costs more money though. I think it's like a $40 model, so 35. Okay. Let's then take a break from these versatile models because we've covered them all. We're gonna hop over to the actual crews themselves, the keywords within the guild as a whole. We're going to rate them in a very similar way. We're going to talk about which things they excel in for scheming, beating, and utility. We're going to cover whether or not you should hire the Effigy with them, and we're going to talk about how they do in each of the crews. And I figure because obviously, something. I'm not saying I've only played Hoffman. I have played other things. You can ask everybody. You can look at my Longshanks record. I've played Lady Justice, but. I'm going to cover some Hoffman stuff. So I like Hoffman a lot. Hoffman's entire crew relies on big stompy robots. They're very durable. They in most cases move pretty quickly. They focus a lot on shielded tokens regardless of which flavor of Hoffman you're playing, and they have a lot of movement abilities. They have a lot of good attacking, and they do generally a lot of damage. Both of the Hoffmans play a little bit differently, with Hoffman Steel Sculptor playing a little bit more support master. He does a lot what he used to do in the old M3 version, where he lets all of his models move around a bit, give them extra actions, fast them, give out shielded a lot. And then Hoffman Inventor focuses a little bit more on the aggression and the pylon markers that Hoffman Inventor used to have, where in addition to being able to attack from them occasionally, he also gets his whole crew to just be better and better the more pylons there are on the table, which is kind of neat. Landon, have you hoffed much? Where do you think Hoffman's laying on the strats?
I have not hoffed all too much, but if I were to man hoffs, I would say that he does pretty well on likely plant explosives and informants. I think he has a good amount of models in the keyword that can go fast and be tanky. I feel like in those two strategies, that's where your durability gets you the most mileage.
For sure.
I guess recover evidence too, right? But
yeah, recover evidence, because he does a good amount of murder.
I'm guessing that he's probably not as good on Boundary Dispute, but I'm happy to hear why I'm wrong.
Yeah. Errol, what do you think? Hoffity Hoff.
Hoffman is my second love in guild. I love Hoffman. He's got great utility. He's got good flexibility. He can play every scheme very well. Mainly the reason why he's good at things like Boundary Dispute are the hunters. The fact that they can move, hop, don't turn your back. They are menace. You put a hunter on each marker and your opponent has to deal with it. The entire crew could punch very well, especially with Hoffman directing traffic.
Wow.
It's not
not the entire crew.
Well, you're not sending your watchers into battle, but
yeah.
It's not a deeply complex crew, but it is a straightforward, easy to run, effective crew. I'd like to say Hoffman's great as a starter crew because it's not super deep in the water, but a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, I think him being particularly forgiving is why usually if somebody's starting up a guild, I'll recommend Hoffman, and that's been true for multiple editions now. Nathan, what are your thoughts on Hoffman in the strategies of GG0?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same place. You can do Boundary Dispute because hunters can do it, but I'd much rather have him in the other three. Inventor in particular struggles in Boundary Dispute a little bit because you lose so much tempo putting on those pylons, but you can I'm a big believer in Boundary that you can wait a turn to start trying to score points and just take the free place, and I think that's just what you do with that one.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. So I think we all pretty much agree. We're going to give him a plus flip, implant explosives, recover evidence, and informants. I am inclined to not rate him a plus flip and give him instead a neg flip on Boundary Dispute, only because this system requires that we have to give him a plus or a negative, and I just don't think that he has enough for plus flip outside of the hunters. I don't know, Errol. Obviously, you feel differently.
No, I agree. It's
Okay.
If we're asking if we can, yes, he can. Is he going to excel at it? No, there are other options for that. For sure.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay, yeah, good. Then we'll knife flip on Boundary Dispute, but I don't think by any means that it's a completely unplayable strategy for him. Effigy, on the other hand, I think in a lot of cases the Effigy, like, you can dual power source. I just don't think it's necessary. I don't know that I usually do not hire the Effigy when I play at least Steel Sculptor, and I think certainly Inventor doesn't really gain much benefit in it. Does anybody oppose neg flipping Effigy here?
Strong disagree on both.
Oh, okay, please.
So I like having the dual power source push. I think it's just really valuable, and I think that crew likes having some token removal. And in Inventor, just one more cheap model that can take a step and throw down a pylon alone is worth it. And that crew also doesn't give out shielded quite as well, but it still likes to have the shielded, so I like to have it.
Oh yeah, because Brutal Effigy gives out shielded as well. Yeah, that's a solid point. Landon, do you?
Yeah, I would have assumed that if you were going to take the Effigy, you would take it here just to have the ability to put out 3 shieldeds a turn, since your shielded is more better than it is normal.
Yeah, well, sure, yeah, 4 shields a turn, really, because you give out to yourself too. Okay, yeah, fine. I am happy to be overruled. I might even start if I get some games with Inventor. Certainly, I agree for Inventor plus flip. Absolutely, that's a solid point. But yeah, fine, very well. We'll plus flip Effigy. The crew definitely, without a doubt, gets a plus flip in beating. That's not. There's no, I think, debating that. Scheming as well. I think Hunters and Watchers do an excellent job of covering your bases there. I don't think that there's a whole lot of cool outside of you scheming things, but like Clipper's real fast and moves people around as well. Beating, utility, like the crew doesn't have a whole lot of marker removal. The crew doesn't have a whole lot of token messing around, but it does give out shielded a lot. There's a lot of crew removal stuff for sure, and you also have a bunch of ways to give activations out and move things around. So I feel like plus flip and utility, unless anybody wants to disagree with me.
No, I think that's good.
Yeah, I agree that the enemy
like
movement is worth the utility.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. So that's what we got for Hoffman, or rather the augmented keyword, definitely a thing I remember all the time. Let's scoot over to my friend and yours, Dashel Barker. Landon, I think I would like you to cover this, and
yes.
Which is to say, before this episode, Landon said he wanted to cover Dashel. Landon, Dashel.
Yeah, so Dashel is really cool. The Dashel comes in 2 very distinct flavors. You either get Sane person who summons a bunch of guys from the barracks, who is really going to be bogging you down with a lot of models, since he's summoning them on top of you. Unless he has a ram, then he can throw them wherever he wants. But if he's not doing that version, he's doing the in-your-face killing you madman, who has the most fun crew card to say in the entire edition: excessive violence.
Sure does.
It always feels good passing excessive violence across the table, and you know exactly what's going to happen at that point in time. And so that's been my homeboy for Guild this edition, is just hitting people with executioners. And I think the big thing that makes Dashel feel very Guild for me is no matter what version you're playing of him, you're probably playing these executioners, and they are really good at anti-scheming. They have Trail of Gore as a bonus action. And so it very much is you can't have nice things. I'm going to pick up your corpses or your schemes and just kill you while you're doing it, right? And, he's got a couple other tricks too with Nightcrawler Network, depending on which version you're playing. That's just an amazing scheming model. And so he kind of just does it all. Yeah. I'd say that he's not super high on the utility, as most of his stuff is really just relating directly to schemes or damage. He doesn't have a lot of tricks in that regard. But like he definitely, I think in both versions, gets a plus flip on fighting and scheming. As far as the strategies that you take him on, I don't know that I like him very much for plant explosives. I would probably give him a negative flip on that. I would definitely take him for recover evidence or for informants. I don't really love him on boundary dispute either, just because you don't have a lot of the tools that you need to stop your opponent from moving markers, especially if they're like a good crew at boundary dispute. Now, admittedly, I like him a little bit better in plant than boundary, just because I think in plant it matters a lot whether you have guys left at the end of the day. Whereas boundary, I think you can pretty comfortably try and score points and then just bury your opponent in the efficiency of your actions rather than just, needing to have guys left to win the game. So
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I still give him a negative on both of those, but there's a slight edge to plant that boundary doesn't have. But
Sure.
So plus scheming, plus beating, a negative utility, negative boundary, negative plant, plus recover, plus informants, and I would not take the Effigy. I don't think his crew cards really warrant taking the Effigy, especially not with either of the either of the actions you get on either of the crew card just don't synergize well with the Effigy.
What do you mean your Effigy isn't cracking skulls?
Your Effigy is not cracking skulls unless he's an emissary. Then he's cracking skulls real great.
No, look, your emissary's cracking skulls. Nobody disagrees with that. But I can't believe that your Effigy isn't cracking skulls, Landon. I mean, just because he can't.
Yeah, because he can't.
Oh, okay. I guess that's fair. Arrow, what do you think about Dashel? Have you dashed much?
Dashel's my current main crew right now. I'm getting a lot of reps in with him. I like him a lot. I really like Old Guard more than Butcher.
That's
specifically
a wild decision to have.
Specifically because I love the versatility of it. Like, yes, only because Old Guard can still kill very efficiently and murder your entire crew, but it gives you flexibility to change your plan, hire new models that you need, direct traffic. The Dispatcher is a fantastic totem to create more coordinated attacks at 10 inches. It's just a lot of versatility, a lot of flexibility while still being able to murder. I've played Butcher a few times. It does one thing very well, but absolutely nothing else. And if you can't get that off the ground, you're screwed.
Well, I mean, you kill your opponent's models. You don't have to. To be clear, I'm not saying that's a wild hot take. It's just so different for me. I like Butcher a lot. I played almost exclusively Butcher. In fact, I've yet to play Old Guard, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't. When we played at the tournament last weekend, in the first round, we got paired against each other, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't decide to just throw Dashel on the table because we could have had both versions, and it would have been fun. I don't know how it would have done. I don't think I'm that good at Butcher because I've only played him a number of times in basically non-serious games, but it would have been neat for sure. Do you agree with Landon's recover informants pluses boundary plant negs?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the solution to all of those schemes that he's bad at is just to kill your opponent harder. And while that works, that's no way to assure a win.
Yeah. Fair
enough. The one caveat that Old Guard has over Butcher and Boundary Dispute is that if you want to use your Master's action to try and enforce compliance on your opponent, you can make them throw their own boundaries back if they're protecting it. But like other crews do that and don't need to spend Master AP on it.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Fair. Nathan, how do you feel about that?
I've barely touched. I think I have one game with Old Guard, and I lost to someone I don't usually lose to.
No.
Shen did one round at Executioner, so there was that. But he'll do that. But the one thing I noticed on his crew card, I think I'd want the Effigy. That at attention. That's nice for a unique two-stone model to do 3 times in an activation.
Yeah, just have everybody move 3 and prep. Maybe on turn 1. I don't know that's... Well, it's only 2 stones. I don't know that's not it.
The big thing that actually I look at that makes me think maybe the Effigy in the Old Guard is that you can just shoot a gun 3 times a turn for 2 damage. But it's such the low range that I don't think you get value out of that.
Yeah, I thought about that, but the range, it's if it's in 6 inches, it's dead.
Yeah. For sure. Well, okay, fair enough. So I think as a general crew, I mean, like, look, the guy has the Nightcrawler network, and also like the executioners have love just eating your opponent's scheme markers. So I think we got to give him plus flip and scheming for sure. But beating, I think, is really Dashiell's whole deal. Like, the executioners are murder machines. Dashiell is a murder machine, especially in Butcher. He has a lot of high damage models, and I think a plus flip for beating is there. If we're talking Butcher exclusively, I think triple plus flip. That's all he does is murder. Utility wise, like, the crew doesn't have a lot of marker removal or interaction outside of the executioners and the eating enemy corpses, which, although it's for fun and profit, doesn't really do much to affect the game in most cases, unless you're playing against a corpse crew. I don't know. I don't feel like we can plus flip him for utility. He doesn't really have a lot of anything in that regard, unless someone wants to disagree with me. I think overall, niche. Oh, what were you saying? Sorry, Errol.
Yeah. He's got a few key models that help with utility. Obviously, Nightcrawler network. I know you and I talked about Taggart Queeg during the tournament. Queeg's ability to bounce around 12 inches, has a 4-inch range attack. Like, he's got
makes me scheming though.
Yeah, I feel like that feels more schemey to me. And also, I will, as evidence, submit to you, all you did the whole game was scheme with him.
Scheme with him. That's right.
Yeah. He does technically have it. I like the guard more, or the sergeant more, for that reason. But it's like potato. But I think fair enough. And Effigy, I feel like we got to give him a knife flip. I think you're never ever hiring the Effigy and Butcher. Old guard maybe we'll see. But I think overall, I think that's like puts us in neutral territory, and I've forbidden neutrality. That's where we're at. So let's jump on to keyword 3. We're going to talk about and of course that was Dashiell leading the guard keyword. Harold Tull, however, leads the Cavalier keyword with no horses. The thing, Cavalier. No, okay, never mind. It's fine. Errol, why don't you walk us through Harold Tull?
Harold Tull. I love this crew. I see Cavalier as the Swiss Army knife of the guild. There is a little bit of everything in this crew. He's got a lot of uniques, very unique based. He's got a handful of minions, but all his juice is in his uniques, in my opinion. And he's got one for everything. If you need token removal, you got it. If you got a scheme owner, you got it. If you need a tank, you got it. If you need a good gun, you got it. It's well-rounded, and he has what I feel is the best scheme runner in the game in Luisa Fusi, with Don't Mind Me, Trample, and Claim the Land, which lets her move and interact in the same action. Very hard to catch, fantastic scheme runner. Both titles of Tull play completely different, which adds the whole Swiss Army vibes. Artillerist, you're setting up your gun line, you're setting up
British Army vibes.
Well, British Army vibes. Okay. You're setting up your AoEs, you're setting up, your assault markers, because this is a marker crew, so it revolves around the assault markers and how they're, utilized by the various members of the crew. Artillerist, again, your good gun line, your good damage, you're going to blast things, you're going to make people not want to stand together. Fantastic. Then you flip over to Dead Silent. This is one of the fastest crews in Guild. You're gonna dance around the field. People are gonna be chasing you down. Great for scheme running. Great for all that good stuff. For schemes, it can cover all 4, but you have to flip between the 2 titles, in my opinion. Artillerist is great for informants. It is great for recover evidence, while Dead Silent is great for bounty dispute and plant explosives, just because of their speed. I will say that some of the Dead Silent mechanics require a little bit of Rube Goldberg working out with the assault markers and how you place them and where you place them, because they like to hop from marker to marker or place a marker and hop to it. So that's where their speed comes from. So it does require some forethought and some planning, but you can accomplish everything with this crew. It's not an easy crew to play, in my opinion, but it is a very versatile one.
Fair enough. Nathan, how do you think Tull rounds up in the strats for GG0?
So I agree about having to split them up, but I don't think I agree. The speed strats they can do consistently well. No matter what, I'm not loving them in informants, and I'm not loving them in recover. There are just too many weaknesses there. But I will say that I think you could have a ton of fun with both of the keywords.
Yeah. The thing that sort of screams through to me, they have a lot of models for sure. There's not a lot of defensive tech split amongst really any of them. But I don't know. Maybe you have Warning Growl. That's fun. I don't know. Landon, what are you telling it these days? I know you play like 8 or 9 games of Tull a week.
I don't really like it at all, just reading through it. I struggled to figure out why I would play Tull over other keywords. The durability is definitely a problem I see when I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
But also just like he doesn't do a ton of damage, and there are other more dedicated scheming options. Maybe he's a good generalist like Errol's saying, but I don't know. I feel like Hoffman's a better generalist, right? So...
Yeah, but it's so easy to fall in the trap of this master, though, is just like, he's a better generalist, so I'll just play him. I mean, it's very different.
Master's trying to be a generalist, right?
No, he is. I think Hoffman isn't, though. Hoffman is just succeeding at it.
Okay.
I don't know. I will say I'm one of the reasons I think more than anything I wanted to get Errol his opinion here is because you are one of the few people that's played a lot of Tull that I know, and I just it's so dense. There's so much going on, and that's not even accounting for the fact that it's an Ashes keyword, or a Madness keyword, that despite what should be the smallest keyword of the game, got 25 new unique models at the start of the edition, and it's just
absolutely right.
You're
absolutely right. It is a very dense keyword. There's a lot of text on all the cards. Heck, each crew card has 2 versions that you have to keep track of. I said, this is not an easy crew to play, but playing enough reps of it, being put into basically every situation we put in this game, it does have an answer to everything. It may not be the best answer. Other crews might do it better, but you're never going to be like, I don't have a solution to this problem. You do. You just have to make sure you're thinking about it in that way.
Yeah, and I would definitely encourage people to try it out for sure. But in this, I like Nathan said, agreeing with Errol, I think Boundary Dispute. Boundary Dispute, Playing Explosives, completely agree, 100% plus flip. Recovered Informants, I just don't think that's viable. I think I'm more inclined to say Informants. I think, but in Recover Evidence, I think that his models just die too fast. Yeah.
I agree. They do die fast. You're playing more of a ranged gunline version of Recover Evidence and using your scheme runners to go in and scoop up heads.
But I feel like what's going to happen is unless you big brain perfect game it, I think your scheme runners are going to die because they're the only things near the enemy, and then they're just going to come kill through your gunline if they can't do anything melee, right? And maybe that's not true, but I think also I'm not particularly inclined to give them a plus flip in beating, because the average damage of the crew is just so low, because they really worry about having that supplemental damage from a mix of their abilities, and also just having assault markers don't do that anymore, right? Where does the damage come from? How do they do it?
The damage does come depending on the model. Like I said, you have to look at every model individually. There is, because that's what I mean by the Swiss Army knife, right? There's not one unifying thing that bounces through the entire crew. Every model is an individual, and that's how you have to view it that way.
Yeah, fair enough. I think
the thing that always gets me looking over the keyword, though, is that the minions just look so bad.
I almost never take the minions
on Hexbow.
Okay, I really like
Hexbow's the only one.
And the Sappers, but the Rocketeers are garbage. But I will say I call Sappers A minions and Hexbows B pluses.
I think Sappers for 5, they got some stuff going on. They're hard to kill. They're 5, they have 7 health. They do damage sometimes.
But that's specifically for the stuff I'm playing them in. You're not using them in Informants. You're not using them in.
Yeah, and like I think this crew has there's no doubt that this crew has a ton of scheming and utility for sure. I just feel like we got to neg flip them in beating just because they're not, that's not really what they're focused on. I think they do a lot of other things, and then I don't know if we're effigying. Are we effigying here? I mean, taking assault markers seems like a thing you might want to do, but the whole crew
because
it's not just a unique thing. So like, why would I?
Yeah, you're using a stone to make the assault marker off the card. There are other models in the crew that make them for free, or not free, but not without a stone.
Yeah.
So no, Effigy is no use here.
Yeah, fair enough. So neg flip on Effigy, and that, I would say Tull is. I'm waiting on a couple models, and then I gotta get some Tull reps in and see what I think.
Give it a try. You need a lot of reps. You need I'm 20 plus, 30, 40 plus reps of Tull. You need a lot to really know the juice. But
yeah, Tull is very much the Zoraida of Guild, I think, and I don't know that that's a good thing. So let's Scooty Boots down to Justice Town. Landon, do you want to talk us through Lady Justice, the one and only flip out and kill things lady?
Yeah, so Lady Justice is really nice because you get to turn your brain off and kill things. I like this just because I like Dashful as well. It's my favorite way to play Malifaux, clearly.
Yep, doing murder.
The nice things is that here you also get benefits for corpses being on the battlefield, right? Or remains, I suppose. So the more things die, the more happy you are. And you have some ways to cheat and put corpses out anyways. So the one thing that is, really also nice is that if other people need remains, you also get to mess with them by just picking them up and using them for your own stuff. But that unfortunately goes both ways. If they have ways to use remains, sometimes you can find yourself gummed up a little bit. But, I think generally speaking, the vibe is I like Arbiter of the Undead a lot. I don't really get Death Touched reading the card very much. And it's especially one of those things that gets much weaker if your opponent knows how or can use remains, since you're trying to use it for a couple of your sort of interactions here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, generally speaking, I think the crew is pretty decent at scheming. Maybe not as excellent as some of the other ones we're going to go over, but like some of the cheaper models have decent ways to get around it. I think it's ultimately going to end up on a negative, but you have like some tools to be middle of the road at it, whereas, some of the other keywords, I think they're a negative on scheming, but beating your plus in utility, I think you're also kind of a negative, to be honest. Like, the way that you get scheming to work in this crew is you have a lot of ways to hand out Craven, right? And so whether you want to throw that in scheming or utility, it's available, but I think there are other different ways to do it better in the faction. So really you're trying to kill the other guy and figure out how to make it work with Lady Justice. And, her Arbiter of the Undead card makes that pretty nice with your 4 damage attack on a plus flip. And the fact that if they're hitting you in melee, you can drain a stone to hit them back. I really like that ability. I know some people don't love that ability, but I like it on sergeants, and I like it here where it does more damage for the same exchange rate. So yeah, you're fast, you kill things. Sometimes you convert that to scheming. I don't think there's a ton of utility to be had though.
Yeah, and I think in general, like the crew can boundary dispute. They do it by taking the interact action. They don't have anything special for that.
Yeah, I would say no for boundary or plant, really.
Yeah, similar for plant. Like they can do it, I guess, but that's not what they specialize in. I think they get a neg flip there. I think Lady Justice in particular, especially Arbiter of the Undead, excels at recovering evidence. It flips out and murders people, and just picks up those markers left and right. And also, it's really hard to stand.
Actually, that I would only play her on informants, because the problem with recover evidence is that your main model, Lady Justice, she's not very tanky, right? And so if you're playing into a crew that's coming to murder, and be tanky, as the name of the game, you're not going to have as good a time. Whereas something like informants where murder is secondary, I think that's where you're really going to excel.
I don't disagree, but I do think that a lot of the tempo that people sort of land into and the way that things line up and recover evidence, Grudge Against Death does, at least in my experience, is a huge deal. Because so with recover evidence,
small Nambo with Craven in recover, right?
It is a small Grudge Against Death is the everyone's hard to kill first stone.
Yeah, that's
no,
nice.
But the Craven's going to be a Nambo for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't understand. What?
Well, if you put a Craven on a guy and kill them, do you still get the evidence marker?
Oh, you sure don't.
Yeah. So like some of your abilities give you damage if people have Craven, right? You just can't use those if you want to kill those models and recover evidence.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, but what I was going to say as far as recovered evidence, I mean, you have a lot of models that kill stuff. Lady Justice and the Judge for sure, and the Lone Marshal I think do a pretty good job. But I think
I don't think the
Grudge
Lone
Against
Marshal is a model you should hire.
I really like the Lone Marshal. He's done a lot of work for me. But I think putting people off, people just like forget about the fact that all of your models can just be hard to kill if you have a stone, and I think that recover evidence gets a little better when your opponent's planning to kill something and then messes up their plan. I guess that's not actually saying that the crew is good at it, and more saying that I oftentimes will get the upper hand because my opponent doesn't know what my card does. But you know, isn't that the same? I think it is.
Brandon, I want to hear more about your Lone Marshal success because I also don't rate that model. So I want.
Interesting.
Okay,
all right. Yeah, I mean, most of the time he's just running and gunning and throwing my dudes in focus and ripping their stupid tokens that people don't have because he's the only token removal that the crew has natively. That's mostly it. But he has I don't know, he's fast, he runs around. People seem to go for him, and I think that might be something that happens less and less as the edition goes on, and it might just be some like leftover resentment from how good he used to be in the previous edition. But I don't know. I like him. I draw their attention an insane amount. It just seems really good, and it lets me get people in underestimating the crew from doing a thing, and then they draw their attention. Also, I think he just gets better when you have two executioners, because exorcists, because the exorcists are the ones who are drawing their attention, and nobody ever expects an exorcist. They just run everywhere. They're like the best minion in the game. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wildly overrating Lady Justice, and you shouldn't play this crew because it's bad. But
maybe you hit crow triggers more often than I do.
See, here's the thing. I play with a 54 card deck, and every card's crow.
Oh,
is that not what you're supposed to do?
Power move.
Power. Okay, Nathan, what do you think about Marshall?
So
outside of all of their models are bad,
I've played very little with it.
Yeah.
Death Touch is this weird thing where I look at the card and I'm like, that looks great, and then nothing works together. Like, you have a rapid action attack that moves models and gives Craven and does damage, but if you want to attack them repeatedly, you don't want to move them, and if you want to keep doing damage to them, you don't really need to do like Craven on them, so it kind of fails itself on that, and it just never comes together for me. I think Asset 17's amazing, but it just always falls apart on me. I do agree with Landon about recover evidence, because I think you want corpses down, and people take elite crews in recover evidence, and that just means less bodies.
Well, or more bodies, because they're yours, because all your models die.
There is that.
Hear me out. All right, no, that's fine. That's fine. I'm happy to for everyone to say the Lady Justice.
I don't think maybe an Effigy crew either. I think this is an Effigy crew. This is an Emissary.
There's no way. None of her. The Effigy gains almost nothing from being in this crew. Even less so than Dashel Murder Fest. Errol, do you have any Lady Justice thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Lady Justice has been one of the poster childs for Malifaux since the beginning. Like, she's very thematic. She very much screams Malifaux as a theme of her crew. I do like that they made her more using of the remains markers. It fits very well into her lore to, quote unquote, counter, the Reser tech for those crews that use corpse markers. But she kills hard. She's very fast. But this is an incredibly stone hungry crew. There's a lot of things that are locked behind stones, and unless you are dying a lot, which you don't want, you're not going to have enough to keep this crew sustained very long. So either you kind of win fast, or you got to burn out and run out of juice.
Die young, right?
Or die young.
Yeah, that's fair. So beating, we were giving her a +1 beating for sure. That has to happen. Scheming, though, I think not so much. Utility, even not so much. Effigy, definitely not.
Yeah.
And I think even though I like the concept, I do completely concede the fact that recover is no, and plant explosives in boundary, she can do them, but no better than anyone else can. So
I think
Negligence
she
almost
might have
eliminated,
sauce on plant,
except for plus
actually.
influence.
Just
Yeah.
because Death Marshals are a 4-point don't turn your back model with hard to kill that you can keep alive pretty long, and that can just be really annoying to try and plant against.
Oh yeah, specifically in Arbiter, sure. Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't think that that's the strat though. I don't really like that Marshals. Maybe. Is that better than an egg flip? I don't think so. I think that brings her to neutral. I don't know. Nathan, Errol, plus flip on plant?
No.
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 Okay. All right. Well, there we have it.
Right.
That's Lady Justice. We tried. Yeah. Nathan,
Yeah.
talk to us about your boy,
Oh.
Lucius Matheson, the one and only.
Okay, so you have two very different keywords here in or two different very different titles in Lucius. I think it's important to think of them separately because you've got your jumping around attacking things vigilante justice Lucius with his totem that's kind of a weird reflection of the copycat killer. And then you've got your in plain sight Lucius, who's got friendly obeys and a kidnap, and kind of does more interesting things, I think, overall. They both use a upgrade mechanic, which honestly is mostly there to feed the stuff on the cards. I don't get a lot of value from the upgrades themselves, but do help you get scheme markers down. And the crew is, I don't think they just tend to be a little higher on TNs than I like. I like the investigators and guild lawyers a lot. And the uniques I can find uses for, but none of them are in every game for me choice. I'd say I like Lucius and I like the changelings, which aren't showing up on my screen for some reason. But I like Lucius in Plant. I like Lucius in Informants, and I don't think I like them in the other two. I think it's negatives on Boundary and Recover.
Yeah. I think that's a fair summation. Landon, how do you feel about them on the strats?
I would not have expected a negative on Boundary from Lucius, just because Clerical Command seems really nice for Boundary to make it so that they can't stand next to their boundary markers at all. You know, that feels a bit weird to me, but otherwise I agree you're probably playing them on Informants or Plant.
Yeah. I think that seems reasonable. I don't think that there's a whole lot of durability in really anything, but the crew absolutely, I think, murders those. Errol, have you played much Lucius? Do you know?
A little bit. I'm just starting my journey with Lucius, and I'm basically doing in plain sight so far. There's a lot of versatility. There's a lot of ways to overwhelm your opponent with your activations and your out of character activations and whatnot. Yeah. So that that's where your juice is. If you try to throw a punch, like you got Agent 46 and maybe Alan Reed, and that's about it. Otherwise,
and the doppelganger.
And the doppelganger, yes, right, doppelganger.
She does work.
She does work, but she's purple, so I don't talk about her.
You don't want to punch stuff either. She's doing scheming. She's not punching.
Exactly, she's doing scheming. You have to be able to understand his limitations. Once you understand that, you can maximize what he's good at, and you get far.
Yeah. I think as a whole, like the crew is very, very scheme based. They always have been. I think that's reasonable. I do think, especially if you're playing dishonorable, you do have a bit more of the damage potential. I don't know if we want to say plus weapon beating though. I don't know, Nathan. This is your home field advantage. What do you think? You giving him a plus weapon beating?
Oh, so here's the thing. I have a list I really like for beating with him, but I wouldn't do it a plus flip overall. I think he makes almost the best use of the emissary of anyone in the game, and Propagandist is also one that I like in his crews. So they help bring that beatiness over when I need it.
Yeah.
But overall, no, I don't think you can give them a plus in beating.
Yeah, fair enough. And then utility. I mean, I think they have a lot of stuff
Tons of
that
all day long.
All day long. Are you ever? I mean, obviously, I think you just said that you like the Emissary a lot, but do you ever find yourself hiring the Effigy? I don't.
No, I could see it. I can see some space for it.
Yeah.
But I'm certainly not in dishonorable. And the problem is I just like the other one better and in plain sight. So I think that's really the issue. But clerical command from a 2-stone model is some work.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I feel like if the Effigy is going to be close enough to clerically command people, the Effigy is going to be close enough to get shot in a single activation and die.
Well, that's why you bring in a stalker.
Wow. All right.
You're also getting your mail-in rebate.
That's true. I suppose, unless you legal labyrinth a bunch, but I don't know. I guess you run out, do it, and run back, but probably not. So I think we're neg flipping him there. Plus what for scheming and utility, obviously. Neg flip for beating, and that's Lucius. You should play him. People need to play more Lucius because he used to be purple, and I have a whole purple Lucius crew. It's wild.
But yeah, when this edition started, he was played a lot. It's fallen off a little bit as it's worn on, but I remember him being everywhere when this edition first launched.
Yeah, well, I think that's just he used to be a Neverborn crew, and there used to be more Neverborn players than there were guild players. I think that might just be it, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Get in the comments. Let's talk the semi-penultimate crew. Nelly, she leads the journalist crew. Nathan, I think you're also gonna run lead on Nelly, who I'm very anxious to play, but I want those new models. Damn it.
Best crew in the faction.
Okay, that's wild.
Right there.
Do go on.
I think she can do all 4 schemes, or all 4 strats. You want to sort it for Tattler and Voice Disorder. Voice Disorder is going to do your informants for you. She's going to do your... you could actually kind of go both ways for Recover, but I think I like Voice Disorder more. And then you've got Tattler, who's great at Boundary and Plant. I think you can't mess with them. I think that she's got more A-tier models than any keyword except for maybe Hoffman. And she just a delight to play. Her meter's a fun one.
Do you want to give us a quick breakdown on how she sort of hits the battlefield?
So you're building up that meter. So the one version builds it up by your keyword models doing interacts. The other version does them when you give out the what was that condition called?
Entrance.
Yeah, entranced. And you just have the nastiest thing about the crew is that you've got these field reporters in Allison Dade, and they have the blackmail attack, and the 2 damage plus they have to discard a tome or you draw a card and increase your scandal bar is just vicious. And because they can pick up scheme markers so well with follow a lead, it can get very hard for your opponents to do anything. You're getting enough cards in your hand to be successful, and they just run out of time.
Yeah. And you said literally all 4, depending on which one you're looking at.
Yeah, I'll play her into any strat.
Yeah. Landon, have you Nellied much?
I have not. I do agree with what Nathan's saying, where those field reporters are just premier minions in Malifaux. And I think they're very crew defining as far as the strengths of what Nelly's doing here. I mean, your 6 points, 8 wounds, negative flips to any attack that's trying to hit them just makes them very tanky. It's terrifying that without, saying it's terrifying. And I find that's a premier defensive tech in this game.
Yeah. Do you Nathan? Do you often find yourself running field reporters into people to drain their hand? Or
yeah.
Not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't faced her yet, but that sounds like it's the most obnoxious thing. Oh my god, I'd be so mad.
And
they
they
can even just leave engagement to go scheme afterwards, right? Like follow lead lets you walk away afterwards, so it's barely a penalty for you to be engaged. So
you save your masks so you can make them interact, drop a scheme marker, and then you can eat the scheme marker to leave, or you can just decrease your scandal bar to do so. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Do you find most of the time your scandal bar is easy to fill, or is that like a huge deal?
I mean, you have to be smart about where you're spending it, but it goes back up pretty quickly because of that blackmail ability and because you're usually using it with in the schemes where there are a lot of interacts going on. So it feeds itself pretty quickly.
Yeah. And I think also, for what it's worth, Entranced probably is a huge deal occasionally. I often have not found it. Putting it on models has been a big deal, but there are definitely crews that are targeting their own models and like doing stuff to their own models. Like if you entrance a bunch of people on Hoffman early, I think they're just screwed.
I've never gotten a ton of value out of Entrance, but the second one into slow on Voice of Disorder is really nice. And the additional movement and the caught in the act trigger on the crew card ability are just good enough that it doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah. Errol, tell us your journalist credentials. Do you have a press badge with you?
Funny enough, out of all the crews in Guild, Journalist is the one I want to play the least. Only because of the playstyle. It doesn't match my own very well. But it is very strong. It's very flexible. And if you're playing someone who doesn't know Journalist well, you can catch them off guard with all its little tricks and its ability to accomplish all the schemes one way or another. So it's a very good crew. I just have no experience with it because I don't want to play them.
Yeah, you prefer to play Gentleman's Malifaux, where you're not interacting and you're just murdering. I see. Good. So I think Nelly has always been a way that Nelly has frequently been described as the crew that does probably maybe the least damage possible in the game. I don't think that's necessarily the case because there's, it builds up over time, but I definitely would not give her a plus flip in beating. I think she has a single model in the entire crew that has a 3 anywhere on the card. But definitely scheming 100%. If probably a double plus flip, I think she has to be, because she's the most scheming oriented model in the entire game, and also false witnesses, right? Oh no, that's Lucius.
Yeah, she'll use false.
Oh, did she lose false witnesses? They're not hers anymore.
They're not hers at all.
The divorce.
No.
Oh no, Lucius took the kids in the divorce. I can't believe that's what a Lucius move. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Okay, well, never mind. They can't scheme. They only get 1 plus flip then. No, I don't know, Nathan. Do we give out a double plus here? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Nightcrawler, Undercover Reporter, and that trigger on the Field Reporter alone will get all your schemes done.
Yeah, right. I forgot she has custody over Nightcrawler from, I guess, also her divorce from Dashel.
No,
this is a weird
Nightcrawler's in both.
Still, they're still in a happy relationship.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Oh, good. That's terrifying and awful.
Oh, and you're only using Effigy in Voice of Disorder. You're not using it in.
Do you think you're taking it a lot in Voice of Disorder though, or is it like a thing that you might consider?
Yeah, it's a free ability to move. Like you're using that crew card ability and feeding the engine.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think if we're taking it most, if not all the time in one and never ever in the other, that's probably still an egg flip, but maybe it's a plus flip. I don't know. I'll put plus flip just to be nice to the Effigy, because I feel like he's kind of taken a beating this round. Utility also, I think for Nelly, both she has a lot of crew movement. She has a lot of scooting people around. I don't know if she has much in token and marker removal, but I think utility probably we're going to plus flip here.
Yeah, agreed.
And plus flip on all the strats. That seems reasonable to me, unless there are any dissenters. And if not, we shall discuss Perdita. Okay, wild. Nathan, one more time. Once more into the breach. Talk us through the family keyword. A keyword we've all played.
Everything I said about Nelly, but the exact opposite.
Oh, no.
She can kind of fight. She's bad at everything else. There are weird restrictions on her card that make you feel like you're fighting, like someone just really disliked this keyword last edition and decided to make them pay.
Okay. Well, What? Okay, let's say I said, you gotta say one pot. What's the deal? Well, how do they play first?
Okay, so you got La Diablo who's shooting through other markers, but has to choose a different type of marker for each time she shoots. Neverborn Hunter gives out some upgrades, but you have to spend stones to keep those upgrades on. They do have some interesting effects, and Neverborn Hunter has a pretty good totem in Sly 6 shots. That they use reload tokens, which can be interesting and have pretty good. Like, one of the things I think throughout most of Guild, I'd say, I like the minions, and this is a good example of that. Francisco's is legit, but I really, as a whole, struggled with the keyword. I think you need a Voila to make the engine run, but she's going to be a liability and assassinate, so it's kind of a 50-50 on that. And she's bad at scheming and bad at utility.
Yeah. Well, if you had to pick a what? So are you saying? I mean, I guess it's primarily a shoot things downrange murder crew. Right?
Yeah, she's
so
playing recover if anything.
Recover if anything.
Yeah.
What about informants? I think she just has a lot of models that die pretty easily.
Yeah, she doesn't hold space very well. I don't like her in informants.
And then there's not really a whole lot of schemy stuff for Boundary or Plant either.
Not
it
really.
seems. Wow. Landon, maybe you have some positive things to say about Perdita.
Maybe if they made it so that there was an Opwarel worth taking.
Yeah, because Opwarel is just dupe their
signature
the
action.
Targets.
But the signature actions in this crew are so situational that none of them are really that good.
Well, but surely if anybody can take them, then they should be viable.
No? But Nino's kind of cool.
I don't know. I feel like any model being able to heroically intervene seems good.
I think
or make Francisco heroically intervene, I guess.
I think if I was going to play this crew, it would probably be, weirdly, I think it would be on Boundary, and that's because if my opponent has to throw markers on my half the table, I'm just going to sit on my half the table and shoot, and then hopefully throw them back after my opponent's dead, and just ignore the strategy until that point. So I'll be in the right place to score both strategies, at that point in time. But
see what you described though was you're not going to interact with the strategy and are going to try and kill all your opponent's models and hope that you can make up the points by the end of the game.
That's
what I think you got to do.
I do want to point out Opwarel will not let you take the attack from heroic intervention.
Yeah, because the attacks generate an additional thing. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, I guess we're not gonna Opwarel. Look, I was trying.
Look, if Opwarel worked, I think the crew would be interesting. I just don't like what they did with it.
You try to use it for reload, but her gun isn't long enough range for it to actually be
that's the crime. For a gun crew, it really needs to extend the ranges across the board, especially on Perdita. If you want her to shoot, make it easy for her to shoot.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, Errol, what do you got? You got anything crazy going on?
I mean, the most fun thing in Family is Abuela's new blood, because it allows you to bring in some kind of potentially crazy options into the family and get advantages of all Opwarel and whatever have you want to do. So that's fun. And there's some flex and there could be some juice there, only because it's novel. But the crew as a whole, fun to play, but you're not winning championships with them.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, all right, here's the challenge, I guess, then to the community. Somebody get in the comments and tell us why we're wrong and why Perdita is the greatest crew ever, and then I will
please
be surprised.
You get
as a Hispanic man, I want to know why Perdita is awesome.
I think Wyrd will get in.
Just keep pulsing slow duels, and that's it.
There you go.
Okay.
I think Beard will defend them though. If anyone's going to do it, I'm.
All right, Beard, get in the comments, bud. I'll ping you later. Maybe be like, hey guy, please. Okay. Well, so yeah, Perdita. So I think that she doesn't really have a lot going on scheming wise. I feel like we have to give her neg flip there. There's nothing crazy unless I'm missing something, or just didn't read a sentence where every model gets to interact for free or something. I don't know. Beating the crew is primarily focused around dealing damage, whether it's range damage or melee damage. Everything is sort of damage focused, even though I don't think it's great. So I feel like we need to give them a plus flip there. Am I crazy? I feel like that seems reasonable.
So they only have 2 models, including the one master, that have a damage of 3.
That makes me so sad.
So they are
like
really good at that.
I want to say I get it. Are we neg flipping Perdita on damage then? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna we have to plus flip her on utility. The whole crew can take each other's bonus actions. That's got to count for something. There's an okay amount of movement shenanigans, and like, you know, generally speaking, like the being able to prepare for extra stuff that lets you reduce damage.
Sly has a lot of shenanigans. We'll give it to him just for Sly.
Fair enough. Are you ever hiring the best family model in the game, the brutal Effigy? I don't know. I don't think
you are, if only because I think
I
the
don't see a
Emissary is
reason.
so much better.
Maybe in Neverborn Hunter,
to
if you
hand out the
really want
upgrades.
to lean into the upgrades.
Sure. Yeah, that does make sense. Is there so I think Boundary Dispute and Plain Explosives, I just don't think she does better than anybody else. Neg flips. Recover Evidence is the one that we had talked about. Do you think that she's better enough to choose her in one? Are we gonna neg flip her there too? Is that really a thing? Okay, I guess neg flip all strats, don't bother. And I don't think our models are sturdy enough in a lot of cases for informants. That's it. I'm sorry. I think that's where we're at. Maybe the next GG will change that. I don't think it's going to though, but maybe. Okay. Well, hey, what are you gonna do? And then lastly, but certainly not leastly, we need to hunt some witches. And burn Disco Inferno. Marker. I don't know. Landon, do you want to talk to us about Sonya?
Yeah,
and how
Sonya's got 2
sell
versions,
us a bridge, maybe.
right? We've got Unmasked, which I don't really think we should ever play, but she's got this cool like obey type thing where you can ignore line of sight while shooting people. So like that's pretty cool. It is ally only though, so like that's pretty mediocre. But not a big fan of Unmasked. Her crew card's also not very impressive to me. But what I do like is Unrelenting. Unrelenting has the cool totem that comes with Node, which is an ability that lets you draw range and line of sights for any cast action from any friendly model, not allies. So your guild mages, your lures from the King's Wall, your any cast action, right? You're going to get Node off of your totem, and you're also going to get Node off of any Witchling Stalkers you hire or summon, because she's also a summoner. So.
Oh yes, right. She is, isn't she?
Yeah. So turns all of your cast actions into crazy efficient range, when normally range is one of the things that's a big limit on a lot of cast actions. So that's the big potential that I really enjoy seeing and crafting around with Unrelenting. Other than that, you have some pretty decent utility just from your hires. We'll ignore Hexbow because they forgot to print Run and Gun on him, but he does have target practice if you really wanted scheme removal. We talked about the amazing utility of the Witchling Stalker that just lets you take any cast action in the faction and extend its range. And then Witchling Handlers are just a really cool minion that's very fast. It has this front of card text that says when an allied minion activates within 6, move it up to 4 inches. It itself is an allied minion, so it already has a better on the move to just scoot 4. And
it sure does.
Has, after resolving an attack against a small, you can drain a stone to place it in base contact with the strategy marker in 6. So you have a very expensive butterfly jump, but it takes you to very relevant places. And you also have Counterspell Aura, which is really nice. So like the Handler also comes with a ton of utility, while still just having a pretty decent melee for 7 points, and sometimes a very strong, bonus, but usually not, And it can, I don't think you ever will, but it can turn your Stalkers into Thralls. But the problem with that is I don't think Thralls are better than Stalkers.
Strong agree.
So, that's a thing that maybe could get looked into. But, overall, I think the keyword has a lot of utility, and that's why I really like it. So for me, it's a plus flip on utility somewhere on neutral on a beating, which maybe I could be talked into a positive, and a negative on scheming. But like the utility is where it's at here. And I think you can probably play this crew in Recover Evidence or Informants. I don't think you can play them on Boundary or Plant.
Yeah.
The reason why I think these models are maybe playable on Boundary is the big thing you can do with Sonya is her totem has a thing with burning, where if an enemy resolves a burning token within 8 of the totem, it hits everybody within 4 inches of it rather than within 1 inch. Or is it base contact normally? It's base contact.
It's base contact normally.
Yeah, 4 inches instead of base contact. So if you can get your opponent to play in one very focused area of the board, which, in Boundary Dispute, you can put all of your boundary markers in one spot, right? You can concentrate them to one spot of the board and then try and take advantage out of that. So I would probably try Recover Boundary, or, I don't even know if I would try Informants, but maybe depending on the map. The other really big thing why I think you would try her in Informants is the double stone trigger on her tactical action, which just says target a piece of climbable terrain of height 2 or more. All models on top of the terrain take a damage, get a burning, and have to jump off the building. They move directly towards the edge of the building until they fall. So, no resistance on that. So if you put, your Boundary Dispute on a building, or you put the Informant's markers are all in buildings, right? You can just bend 2 stones and say, get off that, which is very strong utility.
Yeah. That was Euripides' thing in the beta. Euripides just had one of those. He doesn't anymore. It makes me sad. Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. It wasn't burning though. It was not my thing. Okay. So Arrow, what do you think? Do you have any Sonya based bits to drop here?
I absolutely agree that you're not really playing Unmasked. Unrelenting is where all the juice is. It's a burning crew, right? And it does that very well. You're setting people on fire, you're pulling them together to make it easier to set them on fire, and then you're exploding in larger amounts to create more damage. Both Samuel and all the Witchling summons all have Smolder, so you're triggering the burn and then reapplying it. And then when you trigger that burn, it explodes in 4. If it's there's a lot of nickel and diming, 1 damage over and over and over again. And if your opponent is not spreading out and not taking this consideration, it's going to burn them out. It's going to wear them down until there's nothing left. I agree that, Informant is very good. And I do think Recover, there's definitely juice here. But the more interact heavy ones, probably not so much. Because you're so focused on keeping your burning engine running, you are going to lose those actions needed to kick cans or place bombs or what have you.
Yeah, and I don't see any real heavy interact synergy stuff going on in the crew. Nathan, do you have any Sonya thoughts?
Oh, I'm coming in hot.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that's thematically appropriate. Okay. This is the burning crew.
So I did by 20 with Sonya. Unrelenting was one of my worst masters of any master I've played. And Unmasked was close to the top.
Okay, all right.
Really?
These seem like some potentially burning up upon reentry level takes. Talk to us about both.
Okay, so let's talk about Unmasked first. Her own cards, it's garbage. There's very little that's good on it. But you're not From the Flames you end up using her as a scheme runner by teleporting to Inferno markers. And that's really the only thing on her card that's very good. Guiding Light's gotten worse since the last FAQ. Her card itself is not very good, but her crew card's incredible. And her totem's really bad, so it's kind of this weird thing. But her crew card's so good, it makes up for everything else. You're getting shielded from it, from your hazardous things, and you're putting down Infernos and moving people. So you can do Informants because you can pull people away very effectively from the markers. You're moving people probably better than any crew in guild. The burned over trigger, I can't tell you how many times I've done 8+ damage with that unresisted.
Oh, sure, yeah, because they just take it for the stone, right?
Mm-hmm. And Cinder's Grasp, they don't have to pull people together, so you end up putting Like, so that base to base thing becomes less of an issue.
Oh, yeah. Because so assuming that we're talking also the most recent FAQ as of this bit, be moved 3 inches towards it, you're gonna, well, I guess you were always controlling the move, that's not really arguable, but so if they fail the duel, which is a okay speed duel, they're gonna get closer, maybe in base contact, take a damage from burning, take 2 damage from burning because you're spending the stone, and your whole crew can rip people away from the informance markers.
Yeah, you don't want to spend the stone every time. You want to wait till you've gotten a crowd around there with burning, and then you do it, so you're not wasting your stones.
It does seem good.
But you're doing that, you're packing with minions, which I think are the better models in the crew anyways. Stalkers feed a lot of the other stuff. Because you're getting burning out relatively easily, the Quellers are attacking on plus flips. The handlers are moving people around. I mean, you even get value from the Hexpos, which they're kind of sometimes great, sometimes iffy. But yeah, I did better with Unmasked. I think part of it is that I tended to run Unrelenting into the stronger opponents, but I really think that she's the better of the two.
Interesting. Landon, thoughts? Or are you still...
That's a big hot take to me, but I don't have the on-table experience yet. I don't really necessarily rate the shielded from the hazardous markers, but maybe the burn over stone is something I'm overlooking as far as what's really good, because it is all friendly witch hunter models gain that. Yeah. So I guess if you're taking a full cache of 6, that could be some really good utility for informants.
I think that alone probably inclines me towards plus flipping informants. What did you
plus flip informants?
What were you saying in terms of recover? I think were you saying Unrelenting is pretty recoverable, or is that not the case?
I thought she was pretty recoverable.
She's fine. I don't think I wouldn't give her a plus for it. I wouldn't give either version a plus for recover evidence, honestly.
You're not taking big swings with Sonya.
Yeah.
You're not doing 6-7 damage.
Yeah, it's very chip damagey for sure.
But if you time it right and you play your cards right, you can have something burn up at the right proper time. So not an easy recover, but definitely doable. So probably not a plus flip, but I don't know.
Yeah. And then, but also, I don't see a whole lot of argument for boundary or plant other than Landon's. I'm going to trap everybody in the boundary bubble, and I just don't think that that's super compelling. So, are we going to plus flip informants and neg flip everything else? Is that where we're at?
Yeah, I mean, the Witchly Handler is the only model in the crew I could see that would give benefit to doing boundaries for you.
So neg flip everywhere. Scheme wise, I don't think this crew is particularly schemy. They can certainly, but everyone can just take the interact action. Beating, I'm also inclined to say no, but please feel free to correct me. I mean, they certainly have damage. It's chip damage, and there's a lot of combinatorial damage. And I feel like if we're going to give Tull the neg flip for damage in this respect, I feel like we're also giving it to Sonya. But I'm happy to be talking.
No, absolutely not. Even when I lost games, I won the attrition.
Yeah, but just the chip damage is that aggressive? I haven't seen it on the table, and that's what I'm struggling with. Damage,
the crew just has like little ways to do damage that you wouldn't think of. Like you get burning on one of your own guys, and then you base enemy
and then run them into base people. Yeah.
There's like like that just ends up paying off.
Yeah, Landon, I assume you're inclined to agree.
Yeah, I think I could have put the damage under utility, and filed it there, but it's definitely worth the call out that you win the attrition with this crew.
Fair enough. So I don't know that that's a traditional plus with him beating, but we'll give it. And utility wise, like the crew has a bunch of movement stuff. It has a bunch of play stuff. It has a bunch of markers that it puts down. It gives out tokens. I think utility is a plus flip for sure. Yeah. That seems reasonable. Either Landon or Nathan, whoever feels more comfortable. Are we effiging?
Always
in
Unmasked.
Yeah.
Yeah, Unmasked definitely wants it.
For sure. Yeah, Unmasked for sure. But are we effiging on Unrelenting? No.
No, that we do.
Absolutely not.
I don't think so. I think you like the Emissary.
Here's the
honestly.
reason why I think you would,
Yeah.
if you wanted to, and I think it's defensible. And it's just that you can remove shielded off of Sonya to get extra raises while you're beaten. And then
Sure.
she looks pretty respectable in damage if you can do that. But you only get to that once a turn because you're only going to have one shielded, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's a trigger and a damage. So like, that's not the worst thing to load up with for your 2-point model.
Yeah, fair enough. So I give it with the other all the time with the other one. We'll plus flip it there, and I think that's the guild, right? I don't know if we covered all the keywords, we covered all the versatiles. That's guild done in the books.
The effigies, we got the effigies and all the crews too.
Yeah. After forgetting it half of the time in all 3 of the previous videos, we finally got there. Go Effigy. So I think ultimately you should play guild. They're pretty cool. They're, read the book. It's out now. They have lore. If you don't want to be sad, don't read their lore because they're not the good guys. Maybe that's not fair. Nathan, do you have any closing thoughts, things to plug?
Yeah, absolutely. I need all the playtesters to get guild buffs for me. It's very important.
Oh yeah, okay. So this is specifically a shout out to
is
playtesters to
the
buff the hell out of guild.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, well, you heard it here first. Guild playtesters or playtesters for guild. I don't know. I'm not really sure how all that works, but get in the comments. Tell us what buffs you're gonna buff all the guild models with. After you get in line behind the Reser players who are gonna buff all the Reser models, because eat it. That's a fair play though. Where are people gonna see you next? Do you think?
Running a Juneteenth event tomorrow at my house, and then hopefully
cool.
I'll be at Nova.
No,
Are you running Nova?
Wow, I am running Nova.
All right, then I'll be there.
Yeah.
If you'll run it, I'll be there.
Yeah, this is we haven't really talked about this because a lot has been up in the air until pretty recently. But yep, I am running Nova. We will have events. We're gonna have a big tournament. We're gonna have a couple other things, and it's gonna be great. If you're in town or anywhere near the capital, come on and see us. It's gonna be a hoot. A lot of the co-op and campaign events too are going to be super sick. We're going to basically just do a repeat of Gen Con, but you can check out the event schedule. It's all live now.
Yes,
that's what I have to plug. Also, you should get in the comments and subscribe and check out our Discord. It's fun. We hang out there and talk, and I'll bake you cookies if you want to be a Patreon supporter for an amount. That's a real thing. I really do that. Nobody wants my cookies though. It makes me so sad. Landon, do you have anything to plug and any bridges to sell or any last thoughts about Guild?
It's pretty late, but I would love to see more people come to Good Things Happen down in St. Louis. It's a charity event run by the Steam Powered Scoundrels guys. I think it's technically on the Illinois side, so it's not really St. Louis, but that area.
That's true. It is pretty late.
Shenanigans and modifications for the format. I don't even know if it'll be published by then, so maybe we cut this.
It might not be published by then. It might be, though. I think it will, actually, because I think Doug should be putting it up, I think, before I leave. Future Brandon maybe cut this. Damn it, we almost got through a whole fucking episode without Future Brandon cut this. That's it. Future Brandon, leave this in. We're not doing it. No cuts this episode, I swear, except for all the little cuts that I had to do for other stuff. And I guess also the beginning where, I was just talking shit about Guild for an hour. And also that Hoffman game that I played in the middle of the episode. Never mind. Yeah, forget it. We have to cut things. You can see the unaired footage that didn't happen on the Discord. I don't know. You should come to Good Things Happen if you can. If this is up in time and you hear this, or even if it isn't.
Yeah, it's always next year.
Yeah, and aside from Good Stuff Happen, which obviously you'll be able to see both myself and Landon at, what can people see you at next?
Oh, geez. I don't know where I'll be next, honestly. Probably Captain Con next year.
Wow, you're not going to Gen Con or Nova or Texas or...
Yeah, that's correct.
Wow. Fair enough. Errol, thank you for coming on the planet. It's also thank you to Nathan and Landon for sure as well. Where do you have any final bridges to sell, thoughts to Guild, or where will people see you next?
Yeah, I mean, so like Guild drips. It is one of the most Malifaux factions in the game. Every crew drips Malifaux, the themes, the vibes, the feeling of the game. So if you're playing something just because it's cool, Guild is a good place for you. So rule of cool: play what you like, play what looks cool. is what I always push. But as far as myself, I'm pretty prolific in the New England area with Brandon. I will probably
come to our events.
Yeah, come to our events. I'll probably be running a local tournament, maybe towards the end of August if my schedule works out correctly. So I'll work with you on that schedule. But yeah, so you'll find me in the local area. If you're ever in New England, you'll run into me eventually.
Come to New England. We have cake or something like that. Yes. I don't know.
Cookies, Brandon's cookies, apparently.
I will make cookies. If you message me and tell me you'll only come to a New England tournament if I make you cookies, I will make cookies. I chef professionally, I guess, if you argue it, but that's not really true, but it kind of is. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We have just one last thing to do before we sign off, and that is say goodbye to the internet. Everyone, say goodbye to the internet.
Bye, internet.
Bye, internet.
Bye, internet.
Okay. Thank you. This is the guild. We are done. Huzzah. Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the planet. You can check out the video description below for all of our important info and links. You can see a link to the Discord if you want to come be nerds on the internet with us. We have channels for like all the games that we're playing and all of our community members are excited about. You can also check out all of our affiliate links for like our Redbubble merch store, our Pro Acryl discount code because they make the best hobby supplies on our planet and yours. And of course, our Wyrd affiliate link if you're buying Malifaux stuff straight from Jonathan Q. Wyrd himself. Most importantly though, you can see a link to our Patreon where I post things from time to time, like behind the scenes cuts or early vids, and we even have a tier where I'll bake you cookies and send them to you in real life. Thanks a ton to our current patrons who cover the cost of all of our software to make these videos, and we couldn't do it without them. You can see their names appearing now across the screen, and until next time, goodbye the internet. We did it!